Happy Monday. Let's talk about political correctness today. It's gotten to be a big thing. If you're not politically correct, somebody's going to bash you. Now, what we've seen in the last couple of weeks with our beloved president is a pretty good example of that. He's decided that it would be politically correct if everyone were to stand and hold their hands over their hearts when the national anthem is played. Nothing else. Everything else is terrible and bad. Well, everybody knows what's happened with that. An entire football league has responded. And this is how they've responded. This is on our front page, sports page, in last week's paper. And that's a sign of unity and solidarity and all that kind of good stuff, right? Well, I think that's a good thing. And this is why. I grew up in the era of John Kennedy and Dwight Eisenhower. And I was taught in school that the whole point of freedom of speech was to allow everyone to have their say. When I say everyone, I mean everyone. We even had an example where we had a Nazi protest. Yes, even a Ku Klux Klan protest. And the point was, if we stopped them from talking, then who's to say when they get in power, if they get in power, they aren't right by stopping us to talk? Well, I kind of believe in that. I think everybody ought to have their say. And I don't like it when somebody tries to stifle somebody else because it's not politically correct. And Mr. Trump is very bad at that. But trust me, us liberals, I'll say us liberals because I'm pretty liberal, have the same problem. And lately, it's gotten worse. I call it the tyranny of tolerance. If you're not tolerant, you can't talk. Well, that kind of causes some problems. And this is how. If you can't talk about a situation, you can't fix a situation. If you can't say black, if you can't say racial, if you can't say gay, how do you deal with the inequality that blacks, other races, or gay people are faced with? Well, I think some of you know I got kind of raked over the coals last week because of a thing that I said. I tried to do something satirical. I guess I'm not much of a comic. But what happened was I was talking about the homeless population. And because it sounded like I was making fun of the homeless population, people stopped listening right there and started calling me names, started saying that that shouldn't be allowed on the internet. They didn't even finish the thing to find out what I was really talking about and what I was trying to get to. That's okay. Things like that happen, especially when you're doing stuff like I do. But the point is, they closed their minds as soon as they heard a buzzword. Completely closed their minds. I think maybe that has quite a bit to do with the way that we're polarized in this country these days. So I'm not asking you to agree with me, not at all. But I am asking you to listen, and I'll listen to you too. Now, I've been told, and I agree, that I need to tell you this is my opinion, not the paper's opinion, my opinion. So when you talk about it, consider that. Thanks.